play like you have nothing to lose, because they will. And the tape I watched of them down at UAB, woo, they're doing a great job.
I'm proud of every single player in this room. I'm proud of every single man who went off that court, was there for his teammate. I'm proud of everyone.
Hello again, everybody. Happy Monday to you, and most importantly, happy Thanksgiving week. I love this time of year. It's one of my favorite times of the year, and I feel bad because I think that Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, but I feel like it gets overlooked. As soon as Halloween is over, you see in the stores the next day, boom, Santa Claus is there, and you got snow and jingle bells, and people always forget about Thanksgiving. And we have a lot to be thankful for here on the UVU Coaches Show, presented by the UVU Alumni Association. We're going to get right into it. We got a good show for you today. We got head coach Mark Madsen, who joined us over the phone from Maryland, from his hotel. Utah Valley had a crazy road trip over the weekend, and right now Utah Valley is in Maryland as they get set to take on Mount St. Mary's tomorrow, take on the Mountaineers. And Coach Madsen was very kind to join us from his hotel after a long day of travel. TJ Washington joined us as well. He had just gotten done eating some Subway after he got done at the airport. So we'll hear from head coach Mark Madsen. We got TJ Washington, as always, our weekly segment with Kyle McDonald from WACHHoopsDigest.com. And we'll also hear from the women's basketball side with assistant coach Morgan Bailey. So we heard from head coach Dan Nielsen, we heard from Ashley Garfield, and we were going to hear from Morgan Bailey. So full show for you, and we'll just get right into it. That audio that you heard at the beginning of the show was Kentucky head coach John Calipari. That was after last week's loss to Kentucky, 82-74 on ESPN2. And the Wolverines played great. The Wolverines played fantastic. They had Kentucky on the ropes, and they were just a couple different shots, a couple different plays away from pulling out that upset. But it was a fantastic showing for the Wolverines on a big stage. It was fun for me to get a bunch of text messages and a bunch of emails and Facebook messages from family and friends across the country saying, "Hey, is that your school? Is that the Wolverines?" And I said, "Yep, that's us." So they made a good name for themselves, and they had a warm reception when they came home. Couldn't get the W, but it was a good show nonetheless. Utah Valley then came back home last week and had just a weird loss on Thursday against Lamar. Just some injuries plaguing the team, and it was just one of those funky nights. And Utah Valley lost to Lamar, but then they rebounded and went on the road to North Dakota State on Saturday in Fargo and got a huge win, 68-62 over the Bison. So Utah Valley now improves their record to 4-3 on the season. So after a couple losses to begin the week, they finished the week strong in North Dakota, taking on the Bison, defeating them 68-62, winning the WAC Summit League Challenge for the conference. But now the Wolverines, after that, they traveled from Fargo through Minneapolis all the way back to Maryland, where they are set to take on the Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's tomorrow. And you can listen to that right here on ESPN 960. Jim McCullough will have that call for you. Mount St. Mary's, they're no pushover. They were a team that was up on Georgetown earlier this year by 20-plus points. And even though they're coming off of a loss on Friday night in Lexington, where the Mountaineers fell to the Wildcats 82-62, it's nothing to be ashamed of, and this team has a lot more going for it than people think. So a couple things to let you know of. As of right now, there's still no timetable for Isaiah White. Isaiah White is out with an ankle injury, and Brandon Morley, I believe, is out with a knee injury. So at this time, Utah Valley not with those two players, and still managing to get the W against North Dakota State. And head coach Mark Madsen said there's no real timetable for both of them, but he is very proud of the team that he has and looking forward to seeing who's going to continue to step up for this Wolverines program. Again, TJ Washington had a fantastic night. Another career high. He set the career high for himself against Kentucky, and then he rebounded right back. No pun intended there. But he rebounded right back on Saturday in Fargo He had a career high 26 points. Brandon Averett added 16 as well to lead the Wolverines past North Dakota State. And Mark Madsen afterwards, he said, our guys did a great job of opening a huge lead for us in the first half. But to get to that next level of where we want to be, that we have to learn how to put teams away. I was really proud of our guys. Every single player was sound defensively and contributed. So Trey Woodbury contributed as well, and even Brad Kitchen. Brad Kitchen came off the bench in the first half, and he had to fill up that the guard position, and he did a great job. And so when you got players like that who are stepping up for you and helping contribute and continuing to make this team successful, when you don't have those key guys like Isaiah White or Brandon Morley that you can rely on, that's what makes the team great. And fantastic showing for head coach Mark Madsen as well and his crew. So, again, Utah Valley improves their record to 4-3 on the season, and they get ready to take on the Mountaineers of Mount St. Mary's tomorrow. We're just getting started here on the UVU Coaches Show, presented by the UVU Alumni Association. We'll take a quick break, and again, we'll be right back here and hear from Coach Mark Madsen from his hotel room last night in Maryland. So we'll be right back. Don't go away here on ESPN 960.
UVU Alumni has gone digital. Download the new UVU Alumni app. It allows you to carry a digital version of your alumni membership card with you at all times. Get discounts at local and national retailers. See what perks your UVU Alumni membership has to offer, and stay current with upcoming alumni events. You can even find former classmates using the app. Download it today.
Hi, this is Tim at Sierra Jewelers. Sierra is having its annual sale, 40% off most items in the store, and we have up to 5 years on credit, OAC. Big names, 42 years, only at Sierra Jewelers.
All right, welcome back to the UVU Coaches Show, presented by the UVU Alumni Association. Brandon Crow with you here on ESPN 960. Utah Valley over the weekend had a big win for the program, besting North Dakota State in Fargo on Saturday, 68-62 that final score. And after that, the Wolverines hopped on a plane, had some crazy travel, had to go through Minneapolis, but they are on the east coast of Maryland, set to take on Mount St. Mary's tomorrow night. And we're pleased to be joined by head coach Mark Madsen. Coach, how you doing?
Brandon, doing great. It's been a long travel day, but we've had the chance to spend some time with the players, spend some time in a couple airports, but we're here now and excited for practice tomorrow.
Going back to the Minneapolis airport, that bring a lot of memories back from the Timberwolves days?
I spent 6 years in Minneapolis. 6 great years with the Timberwolves organization, with Glenn Taylor and the ownership group out there. The guys. Now my sister and her husband live in Rochester, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
So it's a special place for me personally. Wish we would have had a little bit more time to get out, but short layover and then on to the next city.
So when you were in those 6 years, how many times did you go to the Mall of America?
Once.
Well, that's one more than me, Coach. I've never been, but
I'm not a huge shopper. I had heard stories. Actually, maybe I went twice. Maybe I did go twice, but definitely no more than twice. There is a roller coaster inside of the Mall of America. It's one of the biggest places, one of the biggest indoor facilities for anything that you'll ever see.
That's crazy. Can't even think about that. A roller coaster. Wild. So, Coach, with all the travel and everything going on so far with the season, how are you holding it up physically, emotionally right now?
I'm holding up well. I was really happy with our last game up at North Dakota State. I thought that TJ Washington really took his game to the next level, especially defensively. He got called for a blocking foul late in the game, when in reality, in watching the tape, he took the charge. TJ's really bought into the system. He's really bought into the defensive rotations. And I'm proud of him because his work ethic is paying off.
You know, I know you're not too big on social media, and you're not one of those guys that likes to do it all the time. But when you do, it's very meaningful. And so Saturday night after the game, I did see you tweeted out and mentioned TJ's work ethic. What does he mean to this team? What has his leadership brought to this team?
TJ's a team captain. He's a great competitor in practice every day. I'm a coach. I like to do a lot of fundamental work at the beginning of practice. We use a system and a format that I brought down from the NBA. The Warriors use a system of fundamentals. We did the same thing at the Lakers. Actually, Steve Kerr and Luke Walton, they brought it from Phil Jackson, and I did it as a player. And so typically we start practice with a lot of very basic drills, and then it builds up with 5-on-5 playing. TJ is always, no matter if he's hurt, no matter if he's been working on class assignments all night, he always brings the intensity when we play. And ultimately, that's how players get better, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
You practice, you work hard, and then you play, and you put into effect everything you've been learning.
Now, I know you being a California guy, me being a California guy as well. My dad, he raised me by putting John Wooden quotes on my lunchbox and stuff going to school every day. And so I know you're all about the fundamentals and using those fundamentals to continue to build up the success of your career, especially as a player and as a coach. TJ Washington has been fantastic, and Brandon Averett is starting to come along. And a couple games ago, post-game, you said after a nice performance that really we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg yet for Averett. Do you still believe that that's true?
I still believe that's true. As well as Brandon's been playing, and he's been playing at a high level, knocking down threes, attacking the paint, finishing over taller defenders. His game is still unfolding right before our eyes. Brandon is someone who gets stronger as the game goes on. And that's part and parcel with the work that he's put in the weight room, on the track, on the court over the summer to have built up that stamina and that strength.
Speaking of stamina and strength, the team overall so far been nicked up a little bit to start off this season. How is everybody healing up?
Everyone's doing well. You know, J.J. Overton went out in the Lamar game, and I looked down the bench, and we had 6 scholarship players in uniform. And so for the players to be having the success that the team is having with really 6 or 7 healthy scholarship players, it's a testament to the resiliency of the players and of the guys. Brad Kitchen, a walk-on, made a big contribution in the North Dakota State game. We put him in at the end of the first half. He went in there. He anchored that back line in the zone. We got to stop. He got to steal. We went to halftime with momentum.
Any update as far as Brandon Morley or Isaiah White go?
Nothing at this point. We'll, when we have more information on that, we'll let everyone know. But as of right now, we don't have any additional information on timetable for either player.
Gotcha. All right, Coach. Big game tomorrow against Mount St. Mary's. They're coming off of a loss in Kentucky, falling to the Wildcats 82-62. What are you expecting from the Mountaineers tomorrow night?
I've watched all or part of 5 of their games. Mount St. Mary's was ahead on Georgetown by close to 20 points with 14 minutes left in the second half. This team is for real. They're good. They shoot it. They rebound. They have length at every position. This game tomorrow is going to be an absolute it's going to be an absolute dogfight.
In your opinion, the keys to success for Utah Valley tomorrow night against the Mountaineers?
We need to focus on half-court defense and transition defense. We need to defend the three-point line. And really, we need to do something else that we've been doing a better job of lately, which is pack the paint. Make the other team shoot contested twos. If we do those things, I think we'll have a chance to win.
Excellent. All right, now since this is Thanksgiving weekend, Coach, we'll let you off with a couple easy questions here. Your favorite Thanksgiving dish, your favorite Thanksgiving meal?
Turkey.
Turkey. Any particular style?
What?
Any particular style of turkey, like turkey sandwich or just plain turkey anything?
Well, it's got to be turkey. So if you go to the store, you can buy these oven bags. You put the turkey in the oven bag. You cinch it up with a little, plastic or metal tie off. When you cook a turkey in this type of bag, it retains all the juices, all the flavors, and all the texture. And so it's not just any turkey; it's turkey cooked to perfection.
That sounds fantastic. Now, are there any Madsen family traditions this time of year?
I think the biggest thing is just get everybody together for a great meal and a special meal and enjoy a lot of family time together.
Excellent. Well, Coach, and again, we know that you're busy, so thank you so much for taking the time. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you when you get back.
Thanks for having me on, Brandon. Look forward to talking soon.
Absolutely. That was head coach Mark Madsen. We'll be right back with more here on the UVU Coaches Show presented by the UVU Alumni Association.
At Kengar Volkswagen in Orem, we believe in supporting our neighbors and the hardworking UVU basketball team. Since our store is perfectly located on University Parkway in Orem, we're ready to play ball with our UVU Wolverines and give them and you a car buying experience unlike any other. Be sure to stop by our store for all your automotive needs, because at Kengar Volkswagen in Orem, we hear you.
Your number one UVU basketball fans, Neil Dastrup Insurance and Auto Owners Insurance is a winning combination. You know texting while driving is dangerous, yet most people admit to doing it anyway. Drivers are 23 times more likely to be involved in a car accident while texting. Know the facts and wait to text. The danger is real and it applies to you. Auto Owners Insurance, the no problem people. Neil Dastrup Insurance is a proud partner of the UVU men's basketball team.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the UVU Coaches Show presented by the UVU Alumni Association. Brandon Crow with you here on ESPN 960. We just heard from head coach Mark Madsen, and now we are pleased to be joined by TJ Washington. TJ, just got word that you just got done having some Subway. Is that true? And if it is, what is your go-to sandwich from Subway?
It is true, and I usually go with the steak and cheese with the Chipotle sauce.
Steak and cheese with the Chipotle, okay. Is that your favorite of all time?
Yeah, or the meatball.
Okay, I can vouch for you on the meatball. Meatball is one of my favorites too. Back in the day, they used to have a chicken parmesan, and I was a big fan of that one. Now, I know a lot of players, TJ, they have some superstitions. Do you have any particular superstitions or habits that you like to do before you go out and play a game, pregame?
I mean, since I got to Utah Valley, the only thing I've done is make sure I take a shower before every game. Loosen me up a little bit. That's about it.
Okay. Now, I do see the trainers out there working with you guys with those new foam rollers. Do you think that those things help you out a lot?
Oh, yeah, they definitely loosen up my body a little bit more than I could before.
Good stuff. I was thinking about getting myself one for Christmas and seeing how it helps you guys out. I'm trying to convince my wife that I need one for my everyday activities.
Wouldn't be a bad get.
So, TJ, I know for those that might not know, but what does your full name, TJ, stand for?
Travis Washington Jr. So T for Travis and the J is for Junior.
Gotcha. And is that for your father? Are you named after your father?
Yeah, we have the same name.
Gotcha. Now, where did you learn your love for basketball from? Is it from him or is it from somebody else?
Yeah, my whole family played basketball. My mom, my dad, and my sister. So it just kind of runs in the family. So would you say that you're the best athlete of your family?
I mean, I don't know. We're all pretty athletic. I'm trying to make it to that point, but I'll humble myself right now and say that we're all equal right now.
Good man. All right, now TJ, you are from Oklahoma, correct?
Yes, sir.
What's the one thing that you miss most about your home in Oklahoma?
Just some of my close friends, but that's pretty much it. I mean, it's not too much different from any other place. Just, we don't have the big mountains in the back, but just my close friends.
So are you a fan of the cold here in Utah?
No, not really.
That makes two of us.
I don't have a problem with it, but I'm not a fan.
Gotcha. Who's the biggest jokester on the team, TJ?
JJ. JJ, for sure.
What does he do? Is he like a practical joker, or is he just like thinks he's a stand-up comedian?
He's goofy. He's a real goofy person, but it's hilarious.
Who, out of all the coaches, who would you say is the one that is the funniest?
T.O. T.O.'s always cracking jokes. Always has a good sense of humor.
Are his jokes genuinely funny, though, or do you guys give him sympathy laughs?
Nah, they're funny. No fake laughs. They're pretty funny.
So, do any of the coaches during the game, do they ever try and crack a joke to make you guys relax a little bit out there on the court? Has anybody ever done that before?
So far, not quite. They've been more serious and locked in during the game, but I don't know. Maybe soon, but so far they've just been locked in.
So, Teach, talk with us a little bit about what this team is going through right now, what this team is like. A lot of newcomers, a lot of new faces trying to gel together. But so far, you guys are doing a pretty decent job trying to pick up the slack for some of your teammates that are injured. But how do you feel like the team chemistry is right now?
We're still learning how to play with each other. But honestly, I think we're doing a pretty good job. I mean, once we all figure out our roles and what we need to do to win, I think we could be very dangerous. But like you said, we've had a couple of injuries and missing out on 2 starters. But even with that happening, I still think we gel together pretty good and off to a decent start.
Again, you're listening to the UVU Coaches Show presented by the UVU Alumni Association. We're talking with TJ Washington, who scored a career-high 26 points on Saturday against North Dakota State. Utah Valley victorious 68-62. TJ, do you talk to yourself at all when you're out there on the court? Do you have like a catchphrase that you say to yourself when you make a shot or make a three or anything?
I mean, sometimes I'll say some stuff to get myself going. I don't have anything in particular, but yeah, sometimes I'll get in my head a little bit, tell myself to get going, or what I need to do to help my teammates out, something like that.
Who's the biggest trash talker on the team?
Me.
You? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like to talk trash to the other team, or is it more during your own team during practice, or both?
I mean, I really don't start. I won't start talking trash unless you say something. If you say something, then I'm gonna start talking. But in practice, yeah, if you're on my opposite team, I'm gonna talk trash, try to get in your head a little bit.
Who's the worst trash talker on the team?
I don't know. Maybe Casden. Maybe.
All
right. I don't know. We're all pretty cool.
All right, now, Tej, we did speak with head coach Mark Madsen. You guys had a crazy travel trip this past week, going from North Dakota to Minneapolis. Now you guys are all the way on the East Coast in Maryland. Do you guys get tired of the travel? Like, what do you do during the travel? Do you read books? Do you watch movies? Do you sleep? What do you do?
Me personally, I always cash out. I go to sleep. It's uncomfortable sleep, but I'd have to go to sleep. But it's a lot of travel so far. This is probably the most traveling I've done while I've been playing.
And how do you feel like you are right now? You holding up pretty good with all the travel?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. It's still a fun experience just to go places that you haven't been before, and you're with your teammates. So it's still fun. I'm holding up pretty good.
Right on. Well, we know you are busy, and we thank you for letting us chat with you here. We'll let you go with this last question. Mountaineer squad that you will be facing Tuesday night, very, very dangerous. They had a big lead against Georgetown. Coach Madsen said he's been studying a lot of film. What do you know about them so far, and what are you expecting on Tuesday night?
Like you said, we're seeing that they play close with some tough teams and that they've been in there with some tough teams. So, I mean, it's really nothing different than what we have to do. We just have to go out there and if we play hard and play together, then we should come out victorious.
All right. There you have it. TJ, thank you for taking the time, my man. Go get a W on Tuesday and come back and have a good Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. You too.
Thank you. All right, that was TJ Washington, and we'll be right back with more here on the UVU Coaches Show, coming right up with Kyle McDonald after this.
Wolverine Crossing is Utah Valley's premier student housing. We provide the largest amenities in Utah, including 2 resort-style pools, 2 hot tubs, a 2-story gym, sand volleyball, basketball court, and so much more. Pick from our newly renovated 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom layouts. We know we have the perfect fit for you. Spots are filling fast. Come in today for a tour and find out why Wolverine Crossing is home for you.
Why does your business need Vivid Print today?
For banners, yard signs, NCR forms, business cards, promotional items.
Why will you need Vivid Print tomorrow?
For booklets, business card magnets, custom printed fabric items, trade show pop-ups.
And why Vivid Print in the future?
For letterhead, newsletters, flyers, stickers, window claims.
Vivid Print, promotional signs and graphics.
Hi, this is Jamie Barris with Vivid. If you can dream it, we can design and print it.
Go online to get-vivid.com and get ready for great service. And Vivid, print promotional signs and graphics.
Welcome back to the UVU Coaches Show, presented by the UVU Alumni Association. Brandon Crow here with you here on ESPN 960. Fun show so far. We've heard from Coach Madsen, we've heard from TJ Washington, and now it's going to be our pleasure, as always, every week to hear from WAC Hoops Digest creator and fantastic insight for all UVU basketball and WAC Hoops going forward, Kyle McDonald. Kyle, heard you had a good week. Well, you traveled this weekend, not so lucky out there on the softball field, but did you hit any home runs?
I actually hit one. It was in the first game we played, but we played on baseball fields the other game, so the fence was a little bit deeper, and I'm a little bit older, so I don't have the same kind of power I once did. So I didn't hit any out there, but for a guy my size that's pretty slow and fat, I actually hit a triple this weekend, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Wow, nice. Now, are you
I probably could have legged out an in the park homer, just FYI, but I didn't want to kill myself, so yeah.
Now, are you a DeMarini guy?
No.
What?
It's either Worth or I'm a Worth guy now, so yeah.
Gotcha.
Love my Worth branches.
Well, Kyle, last week for Utah Valley, they started the week off with a fantastic showing in Lexington, Kentucky, and you were there. Give us a recap of that experience.
That was an interesting game. If you think about 2 years ago when Utah Valley went out to Kentucky, and had a 12-point lead early in the second half over the Wildcats, then John Calipari goes to his own defense, and the game flips, and Kentucky ends up winning, by single digits because their length and their athleticism in that zone kind of changed the game. It was eerily similar how Mark Madsen changed to a zone defense in the second half against Kentucky on Monday night. And it changed the game because Kentucky was up, I believe it was by 16 early in the second half. Like right out of the gate, they went on a 5-0 run to start the second half. And my wife actually leaned over. She's like, "If this gets out of hand, how long do you want to wait before we leave?" Like she thought it was gonna get out of hand real quick. But Mark Madsen made the adjustment defensively to his own defense, and it pulled Kentucky. Ball got stuck a lot, created turnovers, opportunities in transition, and then TJ Washington with the 3 straight positions where he hit a 3-pointer to bring the Wolverines right back into it. And I've told people this. There was a moment with about 2 minutes left that Trey Woodbury had a corner 3-pointer, wide open look when UVU was down 1. He buries that 3 right there, I honestly believe Utah Valley would have won that game because their defense was just magnificent in the second half.
Yeah, I was watching the game at home, and I was thinking the same thing. If not with Trey Woodbury's three-pointer, with J.J. Overton's pull-up jumper from the elbow around minute 20 or so left, that would have put Utah Valley on top, and I thought that might have been able to do it. But Utah Valley, they come up short, but it did get a lot of eyebrows raised across the nation, especially here in the state of Utah for sure. Then they come back. The Wolverines do. They bounce. Well, they lose at home just a few days later to Lamar, and that was a very interesting game. Of course, Utah Valley being plagued with injuries right now, but we really weren't sure what to expect in that match. And then once the game kept going on and we saw that the outcome was going to be a loss, people scratched their heads. And then again, of course, Utah Valley and Mark Madsen making the adjustments that they need to, with only about 6 or 7 scholarship athletes on the bench, going out to North Dakota State on Saturday and get that 68-62 victory. What stood out to you about that one, Kyle?
Well, it's the guard play. Like, because Brandon Morley's hurt, because Isaiah White's hurt, Utah Valley has to play small. And TJ Washington, Brandon Averett, they stepped up huge in that win against North Dakota State. And that's like you said, coming off that weird loss on Thursday to Lamar. I mean, at one point, Utah Valley was up 10 after they got out in transition and got up and down the floor and just kind of flipped that game because it started really ugly. And then the second half started the same way, and Lamar didn't let Utah Valley get back into it. But to bounce back with following a long plane trip to Fargo, North Dakota, just the guard play. When TJ Washington and Brandon Averett step it up, everybody else does, and it just trickles down. And that's what's fun to watch is those two guys play with a chip on their shoulder. They play with confidence that not a lot of players have, and I think it resonates with everybody else. And that's going to be a key for them going forward.
Yeah, earlier in the show, Coach Madsen continued to sing the praises for TJ Washington and for Brandon Averett, especially with how hard they've been working in the offseason, perfecting their craft. Now, what are you expecting with this game against the Mountaineers tomorrow? The Utah Valley taking on Mount St. Mary's back east in Maryland, and this is a team that was up 20-plus on a Georgetown squad earlier this year.
It all comes down to how well does Utah Valley shoot the ball? Do they take care of the ball? Because we know that. And here's the thing: watching that Lamar game, and I hope Coach Madsen doesn't get mad at me for saying this. When he lets those guys loose, whether it's Brandon Averett, T.J. Washington, A.G. Hafsa, when they get up and down the floor, they're unstoppable, in my opinion. So, I know that there's a focus on defense and want to at least establish half-court offense and so forth, but maybe there's going to come a time where you're going to have to win an 88 game, and that's just by outscoring the opponent. And I think that's where, especially with a small lineup, considering who's all hurt, how many guys he has on his bench, that's what they're going to need to do, to play small, get up and down the floor, get out in transition, and use that athleticism, that speed, and that ability to find open shots and create shots to the best of their advantage against Mount St. Mary's tomorrow on Monday night.
Yeah, we will definitely see what goes down with that game. You can hear Jim McCullough and Jason Erickson will have that call for you on ESPN 960. Now, switching gears real quick in the couple remaining minutes here, Kyle. The WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. Well, who are the teams that are kind of sticking out to you that might be very dangerous come conference play?
Well, that's a kind of a loaded question right now, just because New Mexico State's banged up. They lost to UTEP in New Mexico for the first time under Christian. Seattle's kind of been a little surprising with the struggles that they've had so far this year to start, especially with everybody coming back. Grand Canyon looked like they were turning a corner, but then they go down to they went down to the Paradise Jam and got beat by Valparaiso and then got blown out by Fordham on Saturday. So I mean, it's so up and down, hit or miss right now. Kansas City went down to the Bahamas and played for the Island of the Bahamas Showcase Championship game against Liberty today on Sunday. And they lost to Liberty 62-49, but Liberty's 8-0 now on the season. They're coming off an NCAA tournament appearance last year. But the Roos kind of showed me something this weekend by just competing down there. And they beat George Washington and they beat East Carolina. So I think pretty impressive Division I wins for the Roos under Thomas. But I mean, it's so, like we said, Utah Valley had the best road win, against UAB. Go into Kentucky, battle, have the Wildcats on the ropes, let's be honest, late in that game. The Lamar loss was weird, but then they go up and they beat a good North Dakota State team in the WAC Summit League Challenge. And North Dakota State was picked to win the Summit League this year. So, I mean, it's hard to say who's sticking out because everybody's had some good wins. Everybody's had some head-scratching wins. And some of the, like we said, New Mexico State, who's picked to win the WAC, is banged up. They should be getting A.J. Harris and Clayton Henry back in the next few weeks. So we'll see what happens. Right now, it's just kind of sporadic. But this week, with the way that they competed at Kentucky, and then getting the win at North Dakota State, Utah Valley showed some real potential there, especially with, like you had said, how shorthanded they are. And Kansas City showed something that they're capable of beating anybody on any given night as well this weekend, and hanging with a very good Liberty team. So it'll be fun to watch through the rest of the non-conference, and looking forward to January when conference play gets started.
Yeah, me too. Especially, I feel like this might be one of the first years in quite a while where there is a lot more parity in this conference than years past, where a lot of the times people would just pencil in who they think was going to be the conference champion and then just kind of write off everybody else. But I think this year, if things continue to progress the way that they do, it could potentially be somebody that we weren't expecting, and it's going to be very exciting.
I've talked to a few people about that, and they kind of say the same thing, that right now, at least early on in this season, no team has really separated themselves as maybe the team that we're saying is going to win the WAC, because that's just how well they've played. New Mexico State had all the hype coming into the season. Injuries have kind of taken away from that, and it's given everybody else kind of a chance to see. And I mean, like you said, the parity's great this year, because now I think every other team in the WAC struggles that the Aggies are going through, and maybe they're thinking in the back of their mind, we have a chance. This is the year that there's no real dominant team, and there's a chance that somebody else is going to win the WAC this year. We'll see about that come March, but right now I think that's where a lot of teams are getting confidence from as they go through their non-conference schedules, and it'll be fun to watch. It makes basketball a lot more exciting when there's parity.
Absolutely. Well, Kyle, as always, thank you so much, my man. Great stuff, and you have yourself a fantastic Thanksgiving this week with your family.
All right, Brandon, you too, man. Thanks for having me again, and look forward to our segment each week.
Me too. All right, that's Kyle McDonald, everybody from WACHoopsDigest.com. Again, you can follow on Twitter at WACHoopsDigest, as well as at Kyle Sports Bias. We'll be right back with women's assistant coach for the basketball squad, Morgan Bailey, right here on the ESPN UVU Coaches Show right after this.
Here at Intermountain Healthcare, our doctors have experience treating young athletes, professional athletes, and the athlete next door. We treat everyday injuries, sports injuries, concussions, total joint replacements, and everything in between. Come visit our board-certified physicians and surgeons here at Intermountain Healthcare's Utah Valley Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic. We're committed to keeping you moving.
Make a lasting impact on the lives of UVU students. Get your UVU license plate with an annual contribution of only $25. Each license plate on the road makes it possible for us to award scholarships to students. Pride your ride with a new UVU license plate today. Visit uvualumni.org/license plate for more information.
All right, welcome back to the UVU Coaches Show presented by the UVU Alumni Association. Great show so far. In preparation for Thanksgiving week, we heard from head coach Mark Madsen, from TJ Washington, from Kyle McDonald, and now we are pleased to be joined by UVU women's basketball assistant coach Morgan Bailey. Morgan, thank you for taking the time to be with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, Morgan, we know that you and Ashley and Coach Nielsen have definitely spent some time together over at BYU. Utah Valley right now nicknamed the Blue Crew a little bit affectionately. What was your very first impression of Coach Nielsen?
I knew him a little bit as I was getting recruited to BYU, just because he was there. But then right as I got there, he left. But my first time I met him, I actually had a broken wrist, and the first thing he said to me was, "Stop faking it," so that you could get out of workout. So I knew he was a funny guy, sarcastic guy, and I knew that I'd get along with him right away. So.
Now, from what I gather, the sarcasm and the jokes and the humor is a central role to really keeping your guys together and really keeping things grounded. And I do know that you guys would like to watch The Office together. Is that true?
That is 100% true.
Okay. So now I've asked Ashley this, and I've asked Coach this too. I'll ask you. What is your favorite episode and your favorite character?
Okay, my favorite episode depends on the day, really, but always a classic one is the basketball one.
Yep.
I don't know, it's just amazing. And then my favorite character has got to be the duo of Jim and Dwight. I think they're hilarious. So.
Now, what's the line? Let me rephrase this here, Morgan. What's the radio show appropriate favorite quote from Coach Nielsen that he uses?
That he uses?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. He doesn't have as many funny quotes as our old coach Judkins over at BYU, but something that he always yelled at me when I was a player, and now that I'm coaching and I'm yelling the same thing at hours, and I hear him yelling it too, is he yells it a lot. And that's just for the post players to find a body and sit on them in the post. But, I mean, I still have dreams about that voice yelling at me. And I'm finding myself yelling that at the girls now. So it's a full circle.
Now, I have asked the other, again, Ashley and Coach Nielsen this as well. But can you give us your best Coach Judkins impression?
Yeah. This one I think is okay. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and do it. The best one was when he said, "Coaching you guys is like playing with Tinker Toys, and I want a Nintendo." So that's my best impression and the best lie too.
That's great. Now, what advice have you received from Coach Judkins in helping you be a coach?
Something that I always learned from him is that this is a process. It's not just going to happen overnight, and I think we've seen that already in the season. I give a lot of props to our girls for sticking with us and believing that process. But he recruited me. He said that I'm not going to be this player who's going to come and do things right away. It's going to take a couple of years, and I believed him and went through it. And so I believe him now when he says that coaching is the same process. Gotta just stick with it, keep believing, and keep working. So, that's probably the biggest lesson I've learned. I love the many lessons I've learned from Judkins. So,
now, where did your love of basketball start?
That's a good question, because I really did not like basketball at all.
Really?
Even I started playing. Well, I played like junior jazz just for social stuff, like just the rec league ball. But I never liked it. I just did it because my friends did. But I didn't play real competitive ball until junior high. I mean, high school. I was in ninth grade when I started playing competitively. I danced all my life, and that's what I loved. And then I was tall, and I didn't fit in with all the dancers, so I had to find something else. But I mean, I always liked the sport. And my uncle is Thurl Bailey, so it's easy. I don't know, basketball's in the Bailey blood, I guess. But yeah, I just fell in love when I found out that I could do something with it. I was never good at dance. I just wanted to be good at something. So as I started getting better, I started loving it, and then became a student of the game when I got to college. So I don't know, I love it. I can't get away from it.
So when you say dance, do you still dance now? What is your favorite type of dance?
No, back then I was my favorite was tap dancing.
Really?
Yeah, and so I'm still convinced to this day that that's why my footwork was decent as a player. So, but yeah, tap dancing was my calling. Not so much anymore now. I don't do it anymore.
Now, when you see your Uncle Thurl anywhere, do you give him grief if you see like a movie or something that he's in, or if you hear like a song of his on the radio?
Not too much grief. I mean, we joke about his music. I think it was his daughter who said, like, you can buy it for 99 cents on iTunes, so. But yeah, we don't talk too much about that stuff. But when we do, we just laugh and joke with each other. So.
Now, has he given you any basketball advice?
He gave me more so when I was playing professionally. Just if you have the itch, scratch it. That's what he always told me. So if you want to play, do it. If you want to coach, do it. As long as there's a desire, keep doing it until it's gone. So that's what I did. I played professionally until that itch was scratched and I didn't want to play anymore. And now I want to coach, so I'm going to do that as long as I have that desire to do it. So.
And when was the first time that you really thought to yourself, hey, this coaching thing isn't that bad. I can actually do this?
Probably, it took me a while to get my coaching legs. I was at Snow College, and then I went to SU, and now I'm here, and that was all within, like, almost a 2-year span, kind of just jumping from place to place. But Snow College taught me a lot. Mike Russell over there is doing a great job, and he trusted me and just threw me into the fire. And so just that gave me a lot of confidence, and kind of that's where I got my coaching philosophy and ideas. So, and it just keeps growing with whoever I work under. I had a great experience at SU, and now I'm with my family over here at UVU.
Was the decision when Coach Nielsen came up to you and asked you, was that a difficult decision for you?
No, I think I made it more difficult than I needed to. But we've been talking about it forever. I coached at BYU camps all the time, where we got our own little teams. And Dan told me, you're going to be a heck of a coach one day. I was like, I'm not going to coach. Are you kidding me? And so then he would joke, like, come coach with me when I get a head coaching job at Lake Ridge Junior High. And so I was like, okay, yeah. But we talked about it a lot. And then when I did get into coaching, he's like, I hope you know, like, when I get a job, I want to take you. So when he finally got it, it was a no-brainer. It was hard for me to leave SU, though, because I love that coaching staff. I love the girls, and I love everyone in Cedar City. So that's why I made it a little harder. I knew that I wanted to go. It was just leaving that was the hard thing. So.
Well, so far, it's going to be a rebuilding year, but I know Coach Nielsen has talked about when you're going out and you're recruiting these other players, these prospective players, you have a very unique opportunity at Utah Valley to be a part of something special, to create something special, and you have received some decent recruits the past couple of weeks, but explain for those that might be out there who are thinking about it, what is so special about what you guys are building here at UVU?
I think we're just going with the theme and the feeling of UVU as a university itself. Like, it's still growing and changing and becoming this huge thing. And we think that the sports can grow with it, not only basketball, but all the other sports as well. But with us, I know how hungry we are. We all come from that winning program and winning all those championships, and we want to bring that to UVU in any way possible. And so that hasn't been done. So these girls who commit and want to come here, they're going to be part of something special and be remembered forever. Remember single people, single players. You remember the conference champions and the conference tournament champions and the teams that go to the NCAA. So that's what we want to build here. And we just need girls who are willing to do something different. UVU is not a name yet, but we hope to make it that kind of a big name, be up there with Utah and BYU one day. And just do something different and make a name for yourself here.
Well, I personally am a big fan of all three of you on that coaching staff, and I think you guys are going to do a tremendous job. Thank you again, Morgan, for taking time to be with us here on the show. And real quick, since this is Thanksgiving, we'll let you go with one last Thanksgiving question here. Favorite Thanksgiving dish or memory that you have?
My favorite. So my mom always makes like these sweet potatoes with like a really good brown sugar crumble on top. And a memory I have of that actually is when we always spent Thanksgiving with Thurl and his family. And we would drive up to Richfield because that's where his wife is from. So we spent it with her family. And my mom would make these, and I didn't like them back then. They smelled the whole car. It was so stinky all the way up. And so I just remember that smell will be in my head and in my nostrils forever. But that is my favorite dish now, surprisingly, even though it was so stinky in that car. But yeah, it's a good memory.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, enjoy Thanksgiving this week, and good luck with the rest of the games this week and throughout the rest of the season. We'll keep touching base with you and the rest of the coaching staff.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That was Morgan Bailey, assistant coach for the UVU women's basketball team. Thank you, everybody, as always, for tuning into the UVU Coaches Show each week. We will be on break. Happy Thanksgiving, and we will talk with you next Monday right here on ESPN 960.